I've watched the video already, and I am a little torn on it personally compared to his previous content. Granted, he hasn't made a legitimate video in the style that he normally does in how long? Over a year since he talked about some stuff. Also, I've watched literally every one of his videos. I've been subbed since yeah, the humor is definitely not for everyone now, though. I understand that. But I'm curious because the video, at the very least, I think does what it wants to do very well. And I'm curious what other people think about it. So since I'm need about 10 minutes, this video is about 10 minutes. Let's watch it.
Since the dawn of humankind, we have had but one sick and twisted desire. I must go fast.
How's the audio, by the way?
Enter the world of speedrunning, aka completing video games.
Also, I wonder how many people I could recognize in this one video.
A world filled with words like
because there's a lot of... It's good? Nice.
Frame perfect, and a little thing I like to call wearing pajamas outside of your home. Cutscenes.
The fact that he references this moment twice.
Peanut butter chip, chunky ass, awkward silences.
Classic.
Were you gonna say something? I don't know.
God, that run is so awkward, by the way, if you guys have ever watched it.
The year is 1977. Miles per hour. Key Games releases Drag Race into the arcades, a game that had players
starting all the way back at Dragster makes sense.
You guessed it, a fucking drag race. 1980, Activision rips it off for the Atari and calls it Dragster. Whoa, wow, how'd you think of that name? And Dragster is commonly cited as one of the first documented cases of competitive speed.
Like I said, this isn't for everybody. If you don't like it, just come back in 10 minutes.
5.51 record time in Dragster and holds the Guinness Book of World Records record for like 30 years until people dissect the code of the game in 2018 and find out that it's literally impossible to get anything faster than a 5.57. Wait, what the fuck? So you're telling me he cheated and lied? But
I don't know how I feel about this being like the very start of the video, but whatever.
There's gonna be a lot more cheaters too, and also a terrible video game called The Cheetah Men and a Disney Channel.
You feel like you've seen this video before?
1986, Metroid drops and is one of the first non-speed focused games that still incentivize speedy gamers to complete it as fast as possible.
Yeah, this video is like kind of just like a Wikipedia dump, but with fun editing. That's about it, which is fine. That's the goal of the video.
Drops, and Doom is the reason speedrunning exists as we know it. Doom changed everything. Because not only does Doom
he also gets like 99% of the details correct, which is very important.
With machine guns and an in-game timer, but Doom also has a built-in replay function where you could save demo files of your gameplay called lumps, aka .lmps, to watch later in-game. Basically think like Halo 3 theater mode, but like 14 years before that, which is completely crazy. Frog. And speedrunners could share those low lump files online as proof that they're not cheaters and that people are awesome. Yes! Yes, I fucking knew it! I knew they were awesome! Jesus Christ, dude. Doom is responsible for so many things. First-person shooters, deathmatch multiplayer, speedrunning, Fightful Goes West, An American Tale, First Away, Ratatouille, 1994 Super Metroid.
Yep, all those things are true.
This game is practically on its hands and knees begging you, please!
Giving such a big shout out to Super Metroid speedrunning is crazy because I don't think a lot of people give it in the modern era a lot of the
structure, advanced movement techniques,
an
in-game timer,
the shit it deserves.
Because I'm a gamer, not because I don't have a wife, but because I've never smelled one.
Also, this joke twice.
Doom gives birth to a massive, chunky baby named Quake, and the speedrunning community that began with Doom just continues to blossom and grow with her grotesque, massive 3D polygonal son. 1997, Nolan Radix creates Nightmare Speed Demos, a site dedicated to speed demos of Quake, but only on the Nightmare difficulty, hence the name Nightmare Speed Demos.
I knew this before, but I also forgot.
Later in 1997,
so it's a nice refresher for me.
Speedrunners put together Quake Done Quick, a compilation of the fastest records for each level in Quake played on the Nightmare difficulty, but stitched together as if a person was playing through the whole game in one go while freebasing NOS. Quake Done Quick gets shared around different corners of the internet and even some PC gaming magazines, and is a lot of gamers' first exposure
not
to
the magazines, bro.
Of not wearing a lot of deodorant. But some other gamers in the Quake community, also known as Quakers,
dude, the amount of edits per second is insane on this video, by the way.
So these Quakers made their own websites. 1998, Radix merges his freaky Nightmare site with a growing easy mode site, and bada boom.
I can't imagine doing this many edits per second.
Speed Demos Archive is born, which quickly
it's absolutely absurd.
for watching gamers.
The MW2
go
level up sound
absolutely
effect,
crazy
it gets used a
on
lot
Quake.
here. It's
Essentially,
great.
Much like Doom, Quake is really
It's the sound
important
effect
and
of
super
gamers if you really
responsible
think
for
about
not
it.
only the growth of online speedrunning communities, but also 3D FPS games like Half-Life.
I'm following it. It's
online
sick. Yeah,
multiplayer
it's crazy.
esports, community mods.
Every chroma
Stuart
free
Little,
frame is
Rat-
technically an edit.
2003,
True.
anonymous speedrunner under the nickname Morimoto uploads an
I consider it more of like
perfect
a filter
and
over
speedy playthrough of Super Mario
unedited
Bros.
footage,
3
but
to
you
the
know.
internet, and a lot of people were like, "Whoa, Willikers, this is fucking crazy! I'm peeing my pants." And while this
Also,
video would
how many people have
introduce a
watched
lot
this
of
video,
people
by
to
the way?
concept of speedrunning, surprise
This particular
this
task.
again
I remember it
just
really
got
blew up
TAS, or tool-assisted
way back in
speedrun.
the day. It was
Basically means
probably
that
one of the
you
first
game
like
using
speedruns I ever
an
watched.
And by using save states and other wizardry, you make it appear as if you are the Michael Jordan of Mario, when in reality you're not even really the Michael Wazowski. Which is cool for seeing what's potentially possible in a game for
Yeah, what's up, Magister? Draco, long time. How you been?
Going war between loser, cheater, bags of dog shit and people who are actually awesome and do NOS on
I don't
call.
super agree with this point where,
Uploads his own personal
but I guess it was
speedrun
2003. People did
just
think of
demos
cheating
Mario Kart.
differently
After
back then.
Gets a lot of traffic and attention. He says, "You know what? Screw it," and opens up Speed Demo's archive to speedruns of all sorts of games, not just Doom or Quake, like Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye 007 and Mario Kart 64 and Super Mario 64 and My Dad's a Dentist 64. I've wanted that game to come out for 100 years. And
Oh,
there's
no
even different
copyright. We'll be
categories of
fine.
speedruns, like any percent runs, which basically means just getting to the end credits as quickly as possible by any means necessary.
That task guy is pretty
Means
gnarly,
using
yeah.
glitches and exploits to just teleport to the end of the game in under like 20 minutes, or 100% runs, which means completing everything in the game to 100% completion, which I'm sure you pieced together when I said.
Also, I haven't really been paying attention, but I could point out a decent number of people that I referenced here, which is pretty dope. When he said 100%, I thought ZFG was popping up for sure, but that's a runner guy if I remember correctly. No, that's Glitchymon. Never mind, I'm stupid. They look similar because they're both white guys with long hair. They're all the same.
Everyone's trying to get a Wii. Everyone's confused by the iPhone. Barack, he's given the Oval Office the stinky eye. And meanwhile, on the internet, live streaming is slowly starting to rear its streamy head with sites like Ustream and Justin TV, which would later give us Twitch TV in 2011. I don't know, maybe you've heard of it. And
Never heard of
speedrunners
Twitch TV,
are
no.
definitely taking notice. 2010, a group of speedrunners.
Yeah,
from the
speedrunners
website
really
speeddemo
were a big part
archives.com,
of
remember
Justin
our website
TV.
from earlier? Well, they decided to take a hit from the speed gamers and hold a speedrunning charity marathon event of their own, and they called it Classic Games Done Quick, a reference to that Quake.
Damn, look at that
compilation
quality.
video from earlier, Quake Done Quick. Oh my god, it's like everything is connected and everyone's gonna fall in love at the end. Starting in 2011, Awesome Games Done Quick, or AGDQ, and its companion summer event, Summer Games Done Quick, or SGDQ, have been held every year since. And if you've heard of
Seeing the
speedrunners
passage of
before
time in this
clicking
video,
on
yeah,
this
I'm
obnoxious,
starting to feel
terrible
old.
video,
Also,
GDQ
Blood
is
Thunder
probably
there.
a big reason for that. Streamed live on Twitch for a week straight, GDQ is non-stop, 24/7 speedrunning madness. I mean, if you want to see gamers go absolutely
Mitch, let's go,
sacrilegious,
Mitch.
freaky, demented shit, look no further. Want to see your favorite game that took you like 7 centuries to beat get farted on by a pro gamer in like 30 minutes while
I think Void's on the couch.
simultaneously explaining to you how and why? Like, okay, so basically right here, I'm going to use the item swap glitch I talked about earlier. To
Oh,
frame
Tudos,
perfect
let's go.
teleport Cranky Kong into the final dance scene. Okay, Cranky Kong is in the final dance scenario. He's okay. He pulled out the shovel.
I missed GDQ. I mean, there's another GDQ happening in like a month, so less than a month.
Your girlfriends are now pregnant. And check your Bank of America account because it should be drained. In 2014,
Love that joke.
AGDQ raised over $1 million for
Classic.
Blood Cancer Foundation, doubling that in 2017 and tripling that in 2020.
Let's go,
A $3
Oats.
million fart on cancer, all because humans are sick, twisted, and goddamn it.
Oh god, the Bonesaw run.
That just want to go fast. And yeah, sometimes that might involve being.
I can't believe this run got
extremely
referenced
awkward,
twice in
but
this
it
one
also
video. That's
involves one
very cringe.
Very important word: passion. Well, GDQ grew bigger.
At least he
and
didn't
bigger
linger on that
over
moment. I
years,
appreciate
for
that.
Twitch gaining more
That's better than most
viewers.
YouTubers.
Speedrunning and speedrunning.
Damn,
streamers
Shirtless
grew
Simply
along
do
with
just
it.
hit
And even if
different.
Some people will cheat and lie and do whatever it takes to get some world record in some random game. A lot of other people actually are amazing. The borderline computer Android ass level.
Yeah, this 120-star run is pretty gnarly.
Perfection and precision required.
I think that's the
To pull
current
some of
world
this shit
record
off
that's
is
being
nothing
shown now.
short of astounding.
Unless somebody's
Fucking
beaten it recently.
poetry moving at 60 frames per second and maybe also sometimes 9 frames per second if it's GoldenEye. Speedrunning, in a lot of ways, reminds me of skateboarding. And not just because I'm dog shit at both of them. It's because both
Shirtless dude in his house is a
require that
runner,
you
yeah.
fail at the same thing over
Also, I like
and
the
over
skateboarding
and
reference.
over again before you can even get a tiny bit close to achieving your goal. Both hobbies require intense mindfulness and focus and
There's a world out there
control
somewhere
over
where
your
I'm
body
just
is
sick nasty
physically
on the fucking
capable of doing.
skateboard
Both hobbies have
and
a
suck
strong sense of
acid soda.
community where you can feel that your peers
And I probably
just
smoke way
want
more
you to
weed and,
succeed push yourself and break new
kiss a lot
ground.
more
And
girls
they
or
both
something.
make people act like tiny little babies and have little pissy fits. Although I am neither a professional gamer that works at GameStop or a professional skateboarder that works at GameStop, I greatly admire those that are employed by their local GameStop because it is an absolute gift.
I would have had to have been
be able
born
to
10 years
witness
earlier.
their
Skateboarding was still big
capability
when I was younger.
while freebasing NOS. The current state
But it
of
wasn't like,
speedrunning
you know,
fucking
big,
rules,
like,
at least
you know.
coming from an avid fan in
I guess it makes sense that I would be into
because
speedrunning
nowadays, there
instead.
seems to be a
Let's go,
speedrunning
Charlie.
community for any game imaginable. Speedrunning
Get
has
that
become
ketamine, bro.
so commonplace that even IGN is getting in on the action.
Okay.
Devs react to
I'm actually going to pause this because I have a whole video that I'm going to make about IGN at some point. Because this Dev Reacts thing, I think everybody says is like, oh, that's so cool, Pog, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But nobody remembers when fucking IGN was literally just like scalping small speedrunning streams saying like, hey, give us your video and we'll pay you an exposure.
the speedrun series.
And they literally just
Best
stole.
idea they've had since the 9 out
They
of
literally
10
just
reviews.
stole
Whether it's a
content from
AAA
people.
game, indie game,
Yeah, after
Game
all
Boy
that
game,
shit.
Flash
Yeah.
game, Wiki
So I'm going to make a
game,
video about that at some
probably
point because I think a lot of people just
And if
forget
you've
about it.
ever played a video Game Boy game, Flash game, Wiki
Also,
game,
Big A in the
you are probably
corner over there.
a
Let's go,
speedrunner.
A-Truck.
And if you've ever played a video game, you should definitely check out a speedrun because going fast is pretty ass.
Going fast is pretty ass.
Crazy. That's all I got. If you want more speedrunning.
All right, that's the end of the video. He talks more about his music stuff, but this is Jakey. If you guys don't know Nakey Jakey, he's cool and stuff. He has like 2 million subscribers. I don't need to shout him out that much. He can shout me out actually for watching his video. Thank you, Jakey, so much for the shout out. You're so dope and cool. Your voice perfect. Perfect amount of stalling.